Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So we're on day 5 now of my liver reduction diet, and I'm currently 12 pounds down. So I was doing the 4 shakes per day every day, and it got to yesterday and I caved and I had some chicken sheesh and some rice, but I still had the 2 pound loss overnight, so it's all good. Today I've had 2 shakes, and also I've had grilled chicken, boiled egg, some tender stem broccoli, and a large flat mushroom with some protein cheese melted on top, and that was lovely. So I'm going to try and maybe do the 2 shakes and then have a healthy meal in the evening and see how that goes. I mean, the weight loss is carrying on, so unless the weight loss stops, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing at the moment. What I want to talk today about is something that's very hard for me to open up about, but I feel it needs to be discussed, and that's grief and emotional eating. On the 1st of February 2019, my 23-year-old son Reese was murdered in the early hours of the morning. I got a phone call at about 3 a.m. from my ex-husband, and he told me that Reese had died. At that moment, he didn't actually know what had happened. We were just told it was an altercation and that he'd lost his life. So you can imagine me being his mum, how hysterical I was. I was running around the house screaming. I woke my eldest daughter up because I was crying. I was hysterical. I just blurted out that her brother was dead. And then of course she was hysterical as well. And then I woke up my youngest daughter, who she was just 9 at the time, and again she said, "What's wrong, Mum?" And I just blurted out that your brother's dead, which when I reflect on it, I realise I shouldn't have, but I just completely lost control of myself at that time. Later on that day, the police came and they told us that he had actually been stabbed. They couldn't tell me any other details, how many times, how many people were involved. They didn't actually have any people arrested at that time. I just remember thinking to myself, you're never going to find them. What's the point? You might as well just go home. What's the point? I just laid there on the sofa all day with all these people coming and going, and all these flowers suddenly appearing on my fireplace in front of me, and just thinking, what on earth is going on? It was all such a blur, and I felt like time had just stood still for me, and everybody else was just on fast forward. And over the next few days, we had to do some difficult things. We had to go and identify Reese's body. And as a mum, to walk in a room and see your son laying there, and just, I couldn't even see all of him. All I could see is to his neck. I could just see his face, and that was it. And he just looked poorly, like he was poorly and asleep, but he didn't look peaceful. He didn't look at peace at all. He looked troubled, and that face is imprinted now. I can't not see that. That was the last time I ever saw him, and I just get flashbacks of that all the time, and it's quite hard to deal with. So the early hours of the next morning, 4 people were charged with Reese's murder, which I was absolutely shocked. It must have been about 2 a.m. when I found out. my family liaison officer, he called me in the early hours, and I told him to call me anytime if anything happened, and he did. So that was about 2 a.m. and then I had to be at court for 9 a.m. and I had to face them, the people who took my son's life away. And that was probably the first time I just felt that much anger. I've never felt anger like it. And after I'd been in the courtroom for about the third or fourth time, I literally came out and I went mental. I just literally started going mental. My husband had to pick me up, God knows how, but he picked me up, took me into the family room, and I was stamping the floor, I was hitting myself, I was screaming. I've never screamed like it. And it was just all the frustration and anger that I had to see these people who had just taken my baby boy's life away. The following day, somebody else was charged with the murder as well, and then I had to go back to the magistrate's court. I faced him, and also that day I had to go to the Crown Court to see the other four being heard there, just to be remanded. And it was just, I was tired, I was frustrated, I was angry. I felt helpless that I couldn't do anything. I couldn't help Reese, and it was too late, and I couldn't punish them. I had to leave that to somebody else, and it's just anyway. So then I have months of waiting, and then we had the trial, and luckily they were all found guilty, all 5 of them. One got manslaughter rather than murder, but they were all convicted. One got 34 years, one got 31 years, 2 of them got 28 years, and the person who got manslaughter got 14 years. And you'd think that you'd feel relief and sort of like closure after that, but I didn't. I just didn't feel any different, and that shocked me really, because I thought, oh wow, it's over now, we can sort of start trying to rebuild our lives, but it just doesn't happen like that at all. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, while all this was going on, although I was already overweight at the time, I was probably about a size 24 to 26, and I was at Slimming World, and I was trying to lose weight. I then just changed overnight really to this other person, and I didn't really care. Didn't care about anybody, didn't care about anything. I didn't go into work anymore. I had my own business. I lost my business. I lost my home. My health went downhill because I just felt in pain all the time. My whole body hurt, and I didn't know why, because I wasn't the type of person who ever felt poorly. I never went to the doctors, ever, really, unless I had a chest infection or something like that. But I kind of just hurt all over. I didn't have any motivation, stopped cooking dinners, so we started eating takeaways. I was eating things for comfort, really, to make me feel good, like donuts and pizza and, you know, stodgy things, comfort food. And that was my thing, and that's what made me happy. And from there, with the medication that I was taking for my pain, it just, over the space of the last 4 years, it's just got out of control, and I've gone from a size 26 to a 30 to 32. Sometimes I can get in a 28, but normally comfortably into a 30. And I guess I need to break this cycle, and that's why I'm going to have this gastric sleeve. It's going to stop me eating large amounts of food. I mean, I'd think nothing of eating a full large pizza from Pizza Hut. You know, I'd eat the whole thing to myself. I won't be able to do that anymore. So yeah, I'm hoping that this gastric sleeve will give me my life back. I'm not saying it's going to make me happy overnight, but I think by losing all this weight, it's going to give me the energy and motivation to try and rebuild my life, really. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. The other thing is that I booked the surgery for the 31st. Oh, sorry, I booked the flights for the 31st of January. And I booked that back in December, and I didn't really think anything of the 31st of January at all. You know, I had a choice of the 30th and the 31st. I looked for the cheapest flights and it was the 31st. I didn't once think to myself, Charlotte, you're going to be having your surgery on the 1st of February, and that's the anniversary of Reese's murder. It'll be the 4th anniversary. When I did realise, instantly I thought, I can't do this, I'm going to have to cancel it, I'm going to have to move the date. But then, after sitting and thinking logically about it, there's a reason, there must be a reason why, and I believe in fate, and I think Reese wanted me to have it that day. It's given me something to focus on. I'm thinking about, you know, things that I'm having to plan everything, you know, plan this trip, plan my liver reduction diet, plan my post-op diet, things like that. So it's given me a lot to think about, and therefore I would normally, a couple of weeks before the anniversary, I'd normally be an absolute wreck. And I haven't been this year, and I'm not saying I'm cured or anything like that. All I'm saying is for the last couple of weeks, this surgery has given me something to focus on, and that's great. So I'm gonna have the surgery, and hopefully when I'm having it, Reese is there holding my hand, looking out for me. Maybe I'll even have a nice dream about him, who knows. But I really hope that everything goes okay, really, and I can start rebuilding my life, and being able to be more active and things like that. So that's all I wanted to talk to you about today anyway. So thanks for watching. If you've got any comments or questions, please write them below, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and like, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.